My name is Dr. Lucitra Bianca Dalton, currently a clinical health psychologist in McLaren and Flint, Michigan, and I'm born and raised Pontiac, Michigan. As far as mental health, it was just something I was always naturally attracted to without even realizing it was mental health. I used to work in the church nursery. A lot of kids did have, ADHD, and they were on the autism spectrum. And of course, at that time, I didn't know what it was. So as I became more educated and realized what was going on, it made me want to learn more about it. So after we all had a conversation about what I wanted to major in college, we both kind of settled on psychology and it went from there. High school played a big part in who I am today, my friendships, the teachers I came across. I definitely wouldn't be who and what I am today without the teachers. Coaches played a huge role in who I am today and my love for sports. I went to the University of North Carolina on academic scholarship, and I went off to DC to go to the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. So 2013, I got my Master's of Arts in Clinical Psychology, then my doctorate of Clinical Psychology in 2017. I'm a first-year clinical health psychology fellow. We specialize in behavioral medicine and mental health, but primarily we focus on the psychotherapy aspect of providing mental health services to our patients. In addition to my role as a fellow at McLaren Flint, we're part of a consortium with Michigan State University, the Flint campus, and so we're a teaching hospital. So we have a lot of the med students from MSU, the Flint campus, come do their training and get some of their educational background at our hospital. We focus on teaching them psychological aspects of dealing with a patient in a medical setting. I'm a board member for Identify Your Dream Foundation, founded by Ms. Leah Clark of Pontiac, Michigan. And in my role there, I kind of serve as like an outreach liaison as well as a grief and support advocate. I have the skills to kind of work with individuals who are experiencing grief and loss, so that's kind of what I bring to the table. And I'm also the CEO and founder of the Process Academy, and it's a sub-organization of my brother's organization, oversees the Process Basketball. It focuses on athletic development, but I kind of put a twist on it by adding the mental health piece. I was a former athlete, and so I found a way to kind of blend my two loves together, psychology and sports. The key pillars are athletic development, academic development, mental health development, and marketing and business. What stands out about my organization is that people involved are actually getting athletic mentoring from collegiate and professional athletes. My family's here, and I'm very close to my family. We're very family-oriented. Pontiac has played a big role in everything I've done, everything I've been involved with, my belief system, my values. I'm a very proud product of Pontiac, Michigan. Success is an ongoing thing for me, and I think I came back for all the right reasons, and to me, all the best reasons. Hi, I'm Dr. Lucitra Dawson, and I'm honored to be the 2018 Oakland County Elite 40 Under 40 winner. Good evening, family, friends, and my fellow 2018 Oakland County Elite 40 Under 40 cohort members. I stand before you as the first woman of color, first doctor, first Pontiac native, and the youngest individual to win the Oakland County Elite 40 Under 40. And thank you. Thank you. And with that gracious honor comes the pleasure of introducing a man unlike any other, Mr. L. Brooks Patterson. As a 7-term CEO of one of America's most progressive counties, Brooks has made it his mission to transform this county into one of the best places to live, work, and play, and most importantly, raise a family. During his 25 years of leadership, Oakland County has continued to retain economic, technological, and social growth, and has become a premier destination for excellent dining, entertainment, and shopping through his development of various innovative programs. These programs not only attest to Brooks' support of local small businesses, events, and activities, but also his dedication to improving governmental functions and the overall quality of Oakland County residents. Such programs include the Economic Growth Alliance, Count Your Steps, Oak Fit, the Arts Beats and Eats Festival, I-75 modernization, Oakland County International Airport Terminal, the teaching of Mandarin Chinese in public schools, and the Healthcare Cost Containment Initiative. Specifically, his emerging sectors, Medical Main Street and Tech 248 initiatives, which promote technological development and advancements in healthcare, have attracted over $4 billion in private investments, creating and retaining over 80,000 jobs, and reducing Oakland County's unemployment to less than 5%. Under his Main Street Oakland County program, the 32 downtown areas of Oakland County have seen more than $700 million in investment, launching nearly 1,000 businesses and creating over 7,000 jobs. During Brooks' tenure as county executive, his administration has earned over 400 awards and honors. As a result of his third-year budget plan with a 5-year outlook, investment rating firms have also recognized Brooks' administration as the best among counties in the United States, giving Oakland County a AAA bond rating and saving taxpayers millions of dollars on capital projects. With his very lengthy list of programs that he has developed, awards he has won, and contributions he has made to this county that continue to thrive and create so many opportunities, it is pretty obvious that Brooks is focused, ambitious, and a man about his business. But after a thorough psychoanalysis of him, after getting to know him on a personal level, I have learned that he is also a passionate, inquisitive, and generous individual with a quirky sense of humor who truly cares about the Oakland County community. All that being said, I am proud to stand before you this evening and introduce the man who made this all happen, Mr. L. Brooks Patterson.
I hope the good doctor doesn't want to run for county exec soon. Thank you, Dr. Dalton, for your very generous introduction. Dr. Lucitfi Dalton was the winner of this year's Elite 40 Under 40 contest. And she is an outstanding individual, as you just saw, and represents the 40 Under 40 class for 2017. I'd like to, 2018. I'd like to ask the members of the 2018 class of the Elite 40 Under 40 who've joined us here this evening, please stand and be recognized by the audience. These are all outstanding young men and women who, frankly, give me confidence that the future of this country is in good hands. I told them this earlier in the reception. I had my doubts a number of years ago, but having begun to work with these classes over the years, I'm confident that we'll be in good hands moving forward as we turn the reins of leadership over to these young men and women. So, and welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining me tonight as well, here at the magnificent Flag Star Strand Theater for the Performing Arts in downtown Pontiac. What do you think of our new venue? This is something special. I would like to start this evening by simply saying that rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated. While at the hospital recently, the phone rang and I picked it up and I said, "Is that you, Bouchard?" I said, "I'm sorry, Mike, it was only a pacemaker." It's out there somewhere. It's true, I had a pacemaker added to my other nuts and bolts that I picked up along the way. After an early adjustment, the pacemaker ought to be a positive addition since it will create a new energy level. It really will. I've had 2 cardiologists tell me that once the pacemaker is fully functioning at its peak, I will experience a rush of energy and feel 10 to 20 years younger. Well, I ran into one of them a couple of days ago, and he said, "How's that going?" I said, "I'm looking for a home in a good school district." Unless you are a fellow pacemaker recipient, it's hard to explain the je ne sais quoi that surrounds this whole event. It's just a feeling. On a more somber note, I want to share with all of you the sad news that Congressman Joe Nolenberg passed away yesterday. It is indeed a loss, not just for his family, but for all of us who work with him in the political arena. He was accessible, he was responsive, and he really personified what we think a congressman should look like and act like. And boy, we could use him in Washington today. Joe will be sorely missed, and I just want to make sure I recognize Joe's service tonight. So where do we start tonight? Well, let's talk about a record number, $1.2 billion. That's B as in Brooks. That's the amount 62 companies invested in Oakland County in 2017, setting a record for investment in one year here in the county. That means more than one company per week located or expanded here in Oakland County. Now let's break that down and see what $1.2 billion in total new investment means. It means 9,500 new jobs and 8,400 retained jobs for a total of 17,900 affected jobs. 27 international companies from 13 countries showed great confidence in Oakland County by investing $305 million in new operations and expanded facilities. Now these countries, Brazil, China, Germany, India, Israel, Japan, South Korea, invested here in Oakland County, and that's a big exclamation point since these countries represent some of the largest economies in the world who chose to invest with us here in Oakland County. The Emerging Sectors Program, and you've heard me speak about it over the years, as many of you know, is our initiative to diversify the economy into 10 growing knowledge-based sectors. Just over $1 billion of that sum was invested in emerging sectors, creating or retaining about 15,500 jobs. Let me highlight 3 of the 62 companies who are responsible for helping Oakland County reach a record of $1.2 billion in total investment in one sizzling year. Among those who expressed confidence in Oakland County is Denso International America, which is investing more than $75 billion in the expansion of its North American regional headquarters in Southfield, and thereby creating 120 new jobs. Denso is a Japanese company and a leading supplier of advanced automotive technical systems and components for the world's major automakers. The expansion will be completed by the year 2021. Sweden-based Autoliv, a worldwide leader in automotive safety systems, is investing more than $22 million to consolidate its operations into a new 180,000 square foot facility, also in Southfield, eventually housing more than 1,500 jobs. IT will develop, or it will develop, and manufacture automotive safety systems such as radar, night vision, camera vision systems. South Korea-based LG Electronics is investing about $25 million here in Oakland County to expand its presence in the electric vehicle and renewable battery markets, adding about 300 jobs to our local economy. LG will build a 250,000 square foot assembly plant in Hazel Park and enlarge its engineering design center in Troy. And by the way, it's important to note we were competing against strongly incentivized states like Indiana and Ohio. We even had a competitor in China for the LG business. So our economic development team has really earned a well-deserved pat on the back for helping to keep LG and other foreign investment in Oakland County in a highly competitive economy. Getting over a cold here, bear with me. A moment ago I mentioned that LG is building a new assembly plant here. On top of that, you can imagine how excited we were to learn over 3 months ago that India-based Mahindra would invest $22 million to build the first new auto manufacturing plant in a quarter of a century right here in Oakland County. The Auburn Hills facility, which will also serve as Mahindra's North American automotive headquarters and engineering center, will build off-road vehicles, creating about 105 jobs. Production and sales of the vehicle called the Roxor will begin in the first quarter of this year. As an aside, all of this foreign direct investment helps create incredible pockets of foreign culture here in Oakland County. Did you know that there are at least 270 Japanese companies with a presence in Oakland County? In Novi, there is an entire subdivision of Japanese families who live and work together. In recognition of Japan's surging cultural presence and their citizens and families who work here and live here, we broke ground in November on a $150,000 Japanese garden at the Michigan State University's Tollgate Farm and Education Center in Novi. The Sakura Garden will feature 17 flowering cherry trees and a pavilion. This project adds to the quality of life that makes our county so attractive, not just to the Japanese companies and their employees who live here, but to all Oakland County residents as well. 13 businesses, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and yours truly, have all chipped in funds to help build the garden and bring it to fruition. It is the result of a partnership among MSU, the Japanese Consulate, the Japanese Business Society, the City of Novi, and the Oakland County Department of Economic Development. The garden will be completed this summer, but we don't expect to see the first beautiful cherry blossoms until spring of 2019. There are the highlights that demonstrate Oakland County is flexing its economic muscle. First, we are witnessing the reemergence of spec building on former industrial sites. Now, spec, that's when developers build buildings without any companies in the hopper ready to lease the space. Spec building says that the developers know the economic conditions are so strong in Oakland County that they don't need to anticipate, and they don't have any problem anticipating commercial tenants for their new buildings. One good example is the Tri-County Commerce Center on 10 Mile Road in Hazel Park. Developer Ashley Capital invested $36 million to build this 575,000 square foot light manufacturing and distribution facility that sits on 36 acres, which once served as overflow parking for the Hazel Park Raceway. This brownfield property had mostly gone unused since the mid-1980s. It already has acquired tenants and is expected to bring in a few hundred jobs and almost $300,000 in tax revenue to Hazel Park when it's completely occupied. Now, you ought to see this building. It's huge. Oh, yeah. Then there's the spec development on Updike Road in Auburn Hills across from the former Pontiac Silverdome site, a highly coveted location with access to I-75 and M59. Developer Burton Katzman of Bingham Farms invested $9.5 million to build this 109,000 square foot light industrial facility. When at capacity, the facility is expected to generate about 200 jobs and $121,000 in property taxes. Next, the aviation industry. It's always the canary in the coal mine that signals how the economy is doing. It's the first to decline when the economy starts to sour, and the last to bounce back after a recession. Well, let me tell you, aviation is more than bouncing back. It is growing by leaps and bounds. Our friends at Royal Air at the Oakland County International Airport in Waterford are building private aircraft suites on more than 3.6 acres of airport property. The project has two phases. Phase one is currently under construction, consisting of 33,000 square feet of private jet suite space with an additional 2,400 square feet of office space. Royal Air is expected to complete phase one this summer. Phase two will break ground in the spring of 2019 with the proposed 30,000 square foot of additional private hangar space, as well as an additional 2,400 square feet of office space. Royal Air began developing the northeast portion of the airport in 2014. To date, they have constructed over 90,000 square feet with an investment that exceeds $8 million. It's an incredible growth in that area. Finally, we're seeing firms whose aim is to provide engineer staffing solutions to engineering projects in Southeast Michigan. Take Kaiba in Farmington Hills, for example. Kaiba utilizes targeted recruiting favored by premier executive search firms, enabling them to reach the best of the mid-level to executive-level technology professionals. So what does that mean? It means there is such a high demand for engineering professionals in our area to fill specific roles on technology projects that engineering staffing firms are thriving here. Again, all this is evidence that Oakland County is prospering. I want you to know, since my pacemaker, doctor says you can only have water, so that's what this is. Trust me, I'm looking for a new doctor. Oakland County's greatest growth is in the technology sector, especially advanced electronics, with a focus on information technology and communication. So many companies that we branded this sector Tech 248. Now, Tech 248 is our second largest and fastest growing economic sector, with more than 2,000 IT and communication companies here in Oakland County. 28 of that 62 companies that located or expanded in Oakland County this past year fall under the advanced electronics and IT and communications flag. One area of exhilarating growth is augmented reality. What is it? Augmented reality is a live or direct, indirect view of a physical real-world environment whose elements are augmented by computer-generated or extracted real-world sensory input, such as sound, video, graphics, or GPS data. How'd you do on that one, miss? I know that's a mouthful. I borrowed that definition from the dictionary. If you don't understand it, don't worry, I didn't either. Anyway, we have a number of augmented reality companies prospering here in Oakland County, which are serving a variety of sectors, from the military to the private industry, helping them to train better and improve processes. I want to focus on one Oakland County company, however, because it is so cool, and it may surprise a few of you tonight in the audience. The company is Macavision in Troy. Macavision is a global leader in computer imagery, or CGI. It designs, produces high-end 3D visualizations, animations, and visual effects for images, films, and interactive applications. Do we have any Game of Thrones fans in the audience? All right. You've come to understand the visual effects of that popular HBO series. And since season 4, Macavision has been making all those scenes. The artists create castles, water, ships, and scenes with thousands of soldiers. It's right here in the city of Troy. I want to assure you, however, that I've not invited you here under false pretenses just to have Macavision wipe you all out. All of you will return home safely tonight. Or is Mike Duggan still here? Maybe not. Another area in which Oakland County is becoming a leader in booming is robotics. Did you know that Southeast, now listen to this statistic. Did you know that Southeast Michigan has the highest number of robots in commercial use than any place in the world? Okay. Such a market creates a demand for robot manufacturing companies to locate here. In fact, over 2/3 of Michigan's robotic companies are located in Oakland County. That's more than 85 companies employing over 4,400 individuals. There's a Italy-based Kamau with its U.S. headquarters and innovation center in Southfield, as well as locations in Royal Oak and Novi. Then there's Fanuc Robotics, America, headquartered in Rochester Hills. It's another global leader in automation for manufacturing, doing business right here in Oakland County. And Kawasaki Robotics has its U.S. headquarters in Wixom. They, too, provide industrial robots and automation to manufacturers around the world. Of course, since Oakland County is the robotics hub of Michigan, and it's no surprise that we are home to the Oakland County Competitive Robotics Association, or OCRA, whose mission is to increase the number of high school students involved in competitive robotics. OCRA, as well as our Academic Development Department, will play a significant role in hosting the Robotics World Championship down at Cobo Ho in Detroit this April, an event that will draw hundreds of teams from all over North America. And we are anticipating Oakland County will be well represented in this year's World Championship, since last year runner-up team was from Lake Orion. Yeah. And I think Oregon contingent is well represented here. I've been told as you seek to enter college, if your resume shows that you have been a member of a competitive robotics team, you're granted immediate admission to any university in the United States. Now, that's how powerful that reference is. Speaking of inspiring kids to receive hands-on experience in a growing field, I want to introduce you tonight to Oakland Schools' 4 professional career campuses featuring both a professional and technical curriculum. These 4 campuses, one in each quadrant of the county, are where students can receive real-life training from instructors who actually work in their respective fields with state-of-the-art equipment that is currently in use in their industries. The students gain a competitive advantage by acquiring both technical skills and required academic credits for graduating from high school. Again, please turn your eyes to the screen behind me and take a tour of the Oakland Schools professional career campuses.
Oakland Schools operates 4 campuses across Oakland County, so we kind of cover the whole county. We have the Northwest, which is in Clarkston, the Northeast, which is in Pontiac, the Southeast, which is in Royal Oak, and the Southwest, which is in Commerce Township. Where our vision is to prepare students for secondary options. Now, those options could be the world of work, or community college, or a 4-year university. You name it, and we prepare kids.
So we are experiencing an unbelievable shortage in Michigan and across the nation in skilled trades. And so as a nation, we're seeing the pendulum swing from college for all back to career ready for all. And career and technical education here in Oakland County is allowing students to meet those. The 4 campuses are designed to deliver regional career and technical education for juniors and seniors in high school. So they spend a half a day at our partner districts and a half a day here at the technical campus. And this is a great opportunity for students to gain a competitive advantage.
I'm studying energy and technology. So there's a lot of things I like about this program. You're actually going out, you're learning a trade, you're using your hands. As you can see, we're working with our hands every day. Graduating high school, starting my apprenticeship out, the apprentices start at $26 an hour. It's a 3-year program. After you graduate, their journeyman linemen start out at making $43 an hour, so that's around $90 a year.
What we hear from our students is that when they're taught by instructors who have been in the real world and actually done those jobs and earned a living doing it, they have what we call street cred, and so it goes a long way with our students.
We have wonderful success stories where they're able to do well, and we love it when those alumni come back and they share those.
Currently, I'm a cyber defense threat analyst. I attended Oakland Schools Technical Campus. After graduating in 2012, I immediately went to the University of Detroit Mercy. I enrolled in a 5-year master's program in intelligence analysis, which is counterterrorism. Here at the technical campus, we were able to physically touch servers, interact with the network, and I really felt that, coupled with the individual attention that we received, made a great experience for the students.
I thought when that young man said he was going to start at 90, that would clear out half the room. I keep wondering why he went to law school. These campuses, I mean, they really are remarkable. We're aware of such stories as one student from the Southwest Oakland Schools Educational Center who got a job right out of high school starting at $50,000 a year because of her technical skills. Did you hear the gender? Because of her technical skills. Whatever happened to home ec? Showing my age, guys. Folks, I'm not talking about the odd, as we had the old shop classes from when you and I were in high school building birdhouses. Mine was condemned by HUD. Today's campuses teach hands-on, innovative approaches to talented students. I encourage both parents and universities to take a closer look at our professional career campuses here in Oakland County. A number of students from the campuses have gone on to other colleges in additional professional training. Now, here's the bottom line. We have many skilled trades jobs to fill here in Michigan. Because of the demand, these jobs are paying high wages that enable those who work hard in these particular fields to live the American dream. And Oakland Schools is one of the paths to get them there. One other benefit, how about graduating without a smothering college debt? Oakland County isn't relying just on Oakland Schools or their educational career campuses to fill the skilled trades gap, which is a real gap, folks. Last year, our Workforce Development Division, led by Jennifer Llewellyn, had an outstanding year working to narrow that skilled trades gap. In 2017, 86 Oakland County companies received a $2.1 million grant of funding administered and by our Workforce Development team, which trained over 1,500 existing employees and nearly 1,600 new hires in the skilled trades. In addition, under the tireless leadership of Jennifer, Workforce Development distributed 6,000 copies of Oakland County's Apprenticeship Guide, which connects individuals who are seeking hands-on experience with the companies and organizations offering it. Plus, nearly 800 Oakland County high school students toured 35 Oakland County advanced manufacturing facilities on what we call Manufacturing Day to see the manufacturing jobs that are being offered. No longer are they like their grandfather's jobs in the plants. These jobs in manufacturing today are controlled by circuit boards and robots. Companies such as Magna International, Fiat Chrysler, and Winslow America opened up their facilities for one day to let these young, future-skilled tradespeople get an idea of the expertise and training required to obtain one of these jobs. Well done, Jennifer. I know, Jennifer, you here someplace tonight? Please stand. And she's performing such an important function, fulfilling the need. We're having trouble filling these jobs. I had a neighbor of mine, and this is true, it's not in the speech, I'm just remembering it now, run up to me about a month ago, and he said, Brooks, do you have any mechanics with a couple of years' experience in your file? And I called Jennifer. I said, how are we doing with mechanics? She said, Brooks, we don't have one. And my neighbor called me back and said, Brooks, you find me a mechanic with a couple of years' experience, and I'll start him at 120. That's a true story. So the opportunities and solutions these kids have available today really are remarkable. We in Oakland County, Oakland Schools, along with you as parents, we just want to make sure that we help guide our kids to make the right choice. Now let's step into the future a little bit. I'd like to take a moment to talk about artificial intelligence, AI for short, and the revolution it will create in our country, state, and county, and in the economy at large. I think it already has, especially as it pertains to the workforce. Of course, AI, artificial intelligence, brings with it many opportunities for technical careers. It will no doubt help many perform their jobs more efficiently. And the economic impact of AI will be so great that it will dwarf the impact of the Industrial Revolution. Now that's saying something. There's no question that AI is a controversial concept, not a concept any longer, it's a reality. And there are jobs, for instance, that artificial intelligence could totally eliminate in the coming decades, especially jobs that have this repetitive task. For instance, a recent article in the Guardian newspaper suggested that AI could replace many legal support positions, such as paralegals and legal assistants. Tax preparers are another group who could be automated out of a job. And the future of fast food workers certainly is at great risk in an AI world. Other recent articles have indicated that over time, this is really a scary statistic, guys, hang out. Over time, artificial intelligence could replace 40% of our current jobs. It raises a lot of questions we are finding that no one has definitively answered yet. For instance, what will be the effect on our economy if 40% of the workforce is no longer employable in the next couple of decades in the work for which they were trained? How do we retrain the workforce to adjust to the reality of AI? What will need to change about educating our children to prepare them for their careers? There are many important questions surrounding the introduction of artificial intelligence and the impact it will have on future jobs, which have to be asked and have to be answered. Oakland County, as you know, has a national reputation for excellence because we have demonstrated the talent to see what is over the horizon and then make solid plans to manage changes on the way. We started to take a look at AI and its impact on the workforce thanks to the insight and the astuteness of my chief deputy, Jerry Poisson. He has brought to it my attention, and we are beginning a broader discussion with experts in the field. Because we are at the nascent stages of examining how AI will impact our workforce, we have not yet developed policies or procedures to inculcate into our educational and business practices. But it highlights Oakland County's willingness to take a look over the horizon to determine our best course of action. There's no doubt that we will lead the way to a solution. Speaking of leading the way to a solution, I want to tell you about the person who leads our nationally recognized and award-winning information technology team to solutions that are helping all of our county departments achieve success. I'm speaking of my Deputy County Executive and Chief Information Officer, Phil Bertolini. Is Phil here tonight? Yeah. I see him. Welcome back, Phil. Phil travels more than Marco Polo. He's been in Washington speaking, then out to California, and then back to Vegas, back to Michigan, and then back to Washington, and then back home, busy receiving awards for his performance as our IT deputy along the way. Now, if he thinks he's going to get 45 cents a mile, he's crazy, but that's another point. I'm very proud of all my employees in the departments, but I've got to say that Phil has really a job that forces him to travel more than even Mayor Brian Barnett in Rochester Hills. Oh, my God. Look at him on that horse. Phil and his team at IT are one of the reasons that the Center for Digital Government has consistently ranked Oakland County among the most digitally advanced counties in America. It's truly been a banner year for Phil. Back in May, his CIO peers voted to induct him into the National CIO Hall of Fame. Later in November, Governing Magazine named him one of the Public Officials of the Year for 2017, a distinguished award that reflects the highest levels of exceptionalism in public office. Well, please turn your attention to the screen behind me to learn a little bit more about Phil and his efforts on behalf of Oakland County.
I'm very passionate about everything I do. I'm very passionate about how my wife is a successful teacher and the inspiration that she brings to middle school kids. My two sons who inspire me every day, where my oldest is chasing his dream as a chef at Walt Disney World and my youngest wants to be a politician. Our county executive, L. Brooks Patterson, is a visionary. To take that vision and operationalize it is not an easy task. But we as leaders have to be able to do that every day. Having a leadership position is different than being a leader. Leading people is so much more important than holding a title. And when you realize that and you bring that humility to the table that needs to be there, people will follow, people will engage. If you are good enough to explain why they need to do what they need to do, they will work with you and be passionate about what they do. And that's what I consider a good leader to be. This operation has never been just about technology. It's always been about the people. The people that we serve in the 82 departments and divisions that drive service to the citizens. And we have direct services that we provide, e-government services we've been providing years. We engage with the public on a regular basis. It's always been a people thing, not a technology thing. And I believe that's why we're successful. We're here to provide, serve, and help people. The G2G Cloud Solutions and the G2G Marketplace are examples of what we did to enable why we're doing what we're doing. So it's a very exciting time for us here in Oakland County. There's so many awards that we get in this department, and there's a wall full of them in our lobby. And there's so many different awards where they'll put my name on them, whether it be CIO Hall of Fame or Public Official of the Year. None of that would happen without the team here at Oakland County IT. The team here at Oakland County is second to none. We have people that know what it's like to be innovative, be passionate, work hard, break the old mold of government employee where they just think, oh, we just come to work and then we rush home after work. That's not what happens in this building. And without these people here, none of those awards would have been possible. In Governing Magazine, they do 6 to 7 people a year. You're in a very small class of people that have been recognized for what you do every day. And since I enjoy what I do and I love what I do, and helping people is what I really want to do and do every day, to be recognized for that just kind of adds that additional, factor to it. I mean, it was really cool. And being Public Official of the Year, it's a credit to everybody around me, the work we've done together, and I'm very proud of that.
Phil's off stage here. He's bashful. In case you wonder why I don't turn around and look, I got a screen right here in front of me so I can see the whole thing. There's one program developed by Phil and his team that I would like to reference tonight, and that's the G2G Marketplace. I first spoke about the G2G Marketplace in my 2014 State of the County speech. We developed G2G Marketplace to offer solutions to government partners and approved vendors for government agencies through an online store experience in the cloud. The goal of this initiative is to provide governments, not just our government, governments, with an easy way to research, purchase, and implement technology solutions and professional services. The G2G Marketplace will simplify the purchase and licensing process with a pre-negotiated blanket purchase agreement so government agencies can utilize technology and services more quickly. That's a fancy and technical way of saying enable governments to collaborate in the cloud to improve services to their customers and to increase their efficiency. Today, listen to this number. Today, 4 years later, 81 cities, villages, and townships in Michigan utilize the G2G cloud solutions, and 750 entities from around the world are utilizing our G2G Marketplace. Since inception, G2G Cloud Solutions has generated over 417,000 transactions, totaling about $300 million in business revenues system-wide. Now, that's a remarkable success. Every place you go, you hear about the opiate abuse epidemic. Whether it's Oakland County, the state of Michigan, the United States, it has become a major problem with deaths on a dramatic increase. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the size, scope, and impact of the opioid abuse crisis. It is well documented and well publicized. With our focus the past few years being on educating medical professionals, we decided it was time to broaden our focus to include the entire community at large. Our goal is to get doctors to consider opioid prescriptions only to assist in immediate recovery after surgery or a catastrophic accident. Further, we will try to get patients to be part of that pain management decision-making paradigm that makes opiate prescriptions the extreme last resort. We believe we can have a long-term impact on reducing opiate abuse in Oakland County. Back in October, I stood shoulder to shoulder with Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, who I think is with us tonight, and we announced then that we were holding the big opiate drug manufacturers and distributors accountable for some pretty unsavory practices. We filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court after our shared attorney, the Miller Law Firm, discovered that opiate drug manufacturers and distributors had been using Big Tobacco's playbook over the past couple of decades to build their business. During this period of exponential rise in opiate addictions and deaths, which is ongoing, by the way, opiate manufacturers and distributors conducted a marketing campaign to the medical community and to patients. They argued that doctors should choose opiate medications to manage all pain, not just the extreme pain of post-surgical or catastrophic injury pain. In this effort, some irresponsible drug manufacturers and distributors paid for studies which masked the highly addictive effects of their opiate drugs. Sound a little bit like Big Tobacco? Let me share with you some astounding numbers that are specific just here to Oakland County. Keep that in mind. Confirmed opiate-related deaths in Oakland County increased 267%, from 9 deaths in 2009 to 33 deaths in 2015. That's according to our medical examiner. The number of opiate-related hospitalizations increased 120% from 2000 to 2011, according to current health data. Oakland County went from 9,157 opiate-related hospitalizations in 2000 to 20,191 in 2011. And finally, these next set of figures I think will blow your mind. I know everybody in this room, and you're going to be shocked. In 2016, there were 743,969 opiate prescriptions written in Oakland County for a total of 55,758,000 opiate pills. That's enough to give every man, woman, and child who lives in Oakland County 45 opiate pills each. The understatement of tonight, we have an opiate problem. In December, our allies, Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel and Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, announced their lawsuit against opiate drug manufacturers and distributors as well. So together, as your regional leaders, we are standing up against what is perhaps our greatest public health risk. It costs our counties millions of dollars a year in treatment, law enforcement costs, and public health endeavors to combat opiate abuse. Next, I'd like to tell you about a hero who gave his life in the line of duty to protect our community. In the early morning hours of this past Thanksgiving Day, a driver was dangerously fleeing the police and needed to be stopped. Eric Overall, a 22-year veteran of the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, eventually got into the pursuit and set up what we call stop sticks on M15 in northern Oakland County. That's a method used to deflate the suspect vehicle's tires. After deploying the stop sticks in the road, Deputy Overall retreated to what he thought was the safety of an embankment on the side of the road. Within minutes, the felon driving his car appeared and then deliberately swerved his car from the traveled portion of the road and ran over Deputy Overall. Deputy Overall died protecting all of us, you, me, and for that matter, everyone who lives in Oakland County, from a dangerous felon. My intention tonight is not to depress you with a story about his untimely death in the line of duty. Rather, I want you to be inspired by how Deputy Eric Overall lived his life. Again, please turn your attention to the screen behind me to view our tribute to Deputy Overall.
To someone who had never met my dad, he was funny. His smile, his laugh was infectious. He was just someone everybody enjoyed to be around, and he made it to every hockey game no matter what he was doing. My brother had a violin concert. He'd make it a priority to make it to that over anything. His life was his kids. It wasn't just work.
Ken and Cam were everything to him. He lived and breathed for those boys. They were the most important thing in his entire life. He was just the most dedicated dad that I ever met.
Eric lived for his kids. His life and what he talked about on a daily basis around me was always about Kenny and his youngest son, Cameron, who had passed a few years ago. Eric wanted the best for Kenny at all costs. His true love and his attention was for his sons.
Well, he had been in a number of positions, including a school resource officer, and that's the kind of man or woman that we put in a school that really connects with people, connects with kids.
Eric believed in community and building that idea of trust and unity, and so for Eric, that he wanted to make sure that the students weren't afraid to come to him for anything. He always gave great advice. Sometimes it was advice that at times people didn't want to hear, but the reality was it was the truth and it was advice that needed to be said.
At the end of the day, we're here for the kids, and he lived that every single day. That's what he did. He was here, he did whatever it took to help kids' lives get better.
He became involved with our students when there are legal problems that could arise, and he was always careful and caring and thought long-term about how it would affect a student's future. He always put kids first, and he was super modest, very unassuming, would do the work and wouldn't want any any accolades for the work that he did.
My husband was what I like to call a silent warrior. He has touched a lot of lives, but he didn't come home and say, hey, guess what I did? He just wasn't that kind of guy.
The never quit piece is what defined him. He never quit at his job. He never quit loving and caring for people. He never quit helping the community.
We're always faced with obstacles. And Eric really made it a point to let the kids know, listen, what is hard for you today doesn't mean it has to be hard tomorrow. What can we do to start fixing this now so you can have the best day possible?
That's a mindset that's kind of almost lost in our culture. You teach people not to quit. You keep going no matter what. You pick yourself up and you do what you're supposed to do because you're supposed to do it. I don't know if there's a bit greater impact in our culture than somebody teaching something of value that you carry with them the rest of their life.
Never quit to me. Just keep going no matter what. No matter what life throws at you, you just have to keep pushing. And he would want me to finish school. He would want anybody else that was a part of his life to keep on going and not hold everything back.
You look at the legacy of love with his family, his son, his wife Sonia, Cameron, Kenny. He made a difference. And every day he made a difference, and he's missed.
In the end, it's what kind of impact do we make? How do we touch other people's lives? And he did. As I said, more and more people kept coming out to me and expressing how he affected them, how he changed their lives. And if you leave that kind of impact, you're never really gone.
Life's going by. We're getting through it. We're getting through the struggles, living the best we can. I always try to say never quit, and sometimes that's hard when we face the troubles we do. But we never quit. We never give up, even when we're at our lowest. All my friends out there I haven't seen in a while. I hope you're well. Hope your families are well. You know, life's just going by, and we keep going. That being said, I just jammed a little bit tonight. Came up with this little piece, and just some music I put together, I guess. I don't know. Again, I hope you're all well. Family, friends, long and new. Like I say, never quit. And here's what I hope you like it. Take care.
Thanks very much for that standing recognition of Eric's life. Joining us in the front of the theater is some of Deputy Eric Overall's family. I'm going to ask them to please stand so you can join me in recognizing them and showing them how much we support and appreciate the sacrifices made by Deputy Overall. Would you please stand, please? Who's home watching the store? My gosh. I'm glad you all could make it. We wanted you to know, got a rough sampling of about 700 Oakland County residents here, and I'm sure that their affection and their standing ovation really represents the feelings we all have here in Oakland County. I know, you're continuing to grieve. No words of mine could possibly make what you're going through any easier. I went through a very similar thing when I lost my son a few years ago. I just want you to know that we deeply appreciate the sacrifice of Deputy Overall and how much he means to Oakland County. Thank you. Now, I would be terribly remiss tonight if I did not acknowledge another sheriff's deputy, David Hack. He is a 17-year veteran of the sheriff's force. He was critically injured on January 4th while on the scene of another accident in front of the Rochester Adams High School in Rochester Hills. At about 7:40 a.m. that day, he was struck by another vehicle driven by a woman on her way to Oakland University. He suffered a brain injury, multiple broken bones in his neck, upper back, shoulders, face, and head. In the days following his tragic accident, Deputy Hack's wife, Christine, posted on Facebook her gratefulness to a supporting public. She wrote, and I'll quote, "We appreciate all your prayers, positive energy, support, and offers of help. Please know that we recognize every action, large or small, and we love you all," period, end quote. We wish, obviously, Deputy Hack a complete recovery. I understand some of his family is here tonight as well. Would you please stand and be recognized? Some of Deputy Hack's family is out in Colorado at his bedside as he recovers, and so we certainly wish him, a complete recovery from that terrible accident. Our next announcement, I think, will enhance our quality of life in Oakland County that has been really years in the making. I'm talking about Southeast Michigan's first ORV park. For the uninitiated, ORV means off-road vehicles. Oakland County's Park and Recreation voted unanimously in December to collaborate with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources to create an ORV park in Groveland Township on the site of an old gravel pit. No longer will off-roaders from Southeast Michigan have to travel several hours to go up north or to the west side of the state to enjoy their hobby. They'll be able to enjoy the sport just minutes away right here in Oakland County. The first phase of the 235-acre ORV park is expected to open this fall. Now, I saw a dry run, which you see pictured. I saw a dry run about a year and a half ago on a test portion. It's incredible. You have to see it to believe it. My only advice to you is that you leave your teenage driver at home. Okay. Back in October, I had the pleasure of hosting the grand opening of a new Oakland County animal shelter and pet adoption center on our government campus. We expect the 35,400 square foot modern facility to enhance the shelter's mission to adopt out as many dogs and cats as it can. By relocating from Auburn Hills to our main campus here in Pontiac, we expect to see more pet adoptions because the building will be easier for the public to find and more accessible because of its central location. My administration began to casually talk about the need for a new animal shelter during the Great Recession. But like everything else in those years, capital improvements were mostly put on hold in order to help us maintain a balanced budget. Then in May of 2013, Mark Newman retired from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office as a captain and joined my staff as the Director of Public Services. That's the department which oversees the shelter. I told Mark and our Director of Facilities Management, Art Holdsworth, there was time to get serious about a new animal shelter. I directed them to begin visiting other reputable animal shelters to gather ideas and best practices that belong in a modern facility. Along with Mark and Art's notes, the vision of Auger Klein, Aller Architects, the excellent work of construction manager Frank Rewald and Son, as well as our internal project manager, Matt McDougall, and the support of my administration and the Board of Commissioners, we were ready to construct this magnificent new building. We broke ground for the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center in July of 2016. And both Standard & Poor's and Moody's Investors Services gave our bonds a AAA rating, which means we were financing this project at the lowest interest rates available in the market, which in turn saves the taxpayers you millions of dollars. And as I said, we celebrated its grand opening this past October. Enough of the words. Let's go for a tour of this shelter on the screen behind me, and you see what we've offered.
Hi, I'm Joni Toole, and I'm Chief of the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center. Tito and I would like to welcome you to the new shelter. The shelter meets or exceeds industry standards for animal health and well-being. Visitors and animals will appreciate the shelter's many technical and quality of life upgrades, including our outside air exchange, the separation of dogs and cats, air-conditioned kennels, roomier kennels for the dogs, industry standard cat condos, and self-help kiosks which offer 21st century customer service. Our medical services are state-of-the-art. We now offer on-site x-ray and dental care so that animals don't have to leave the facility for treatment. We have more operating suites to deliver unparalleled animal care. There is a quiet and calm recovery area for animals who have undergone treatment. Our brand new cleaning protocol is bleach-free, which makes our facility healthier for humans and animals alike. Our play areas have artificial turf, which can be sanitized to prevent disease transmission. Kitty City is a great place to sit and relax while watching cats and kittens interact. And our visitation rooms allow individuals to meet a dog or cat in a safe place, regardless of the weather outside. Our adoption area provides the perfect environment for visitors and animals to meet. It features a huge pen for play, a gazebo, and a walking path for our volunteers and visitors. Moving to a central location within Oakland County makes our shelter more accessible to the public, bringing our furry friends and their forever homes closer than ever before. Thanks to the vision of our county leadership and the spirit of collaboration demonstrated between departments, we are now better empowered to change the lives of thousands of animals for the better. Thank you for coming along on our tour. We hope to see you soon.
I don't know, when Joni was talking, I don't know if you heard her when she referenced where the cats are kept. It's called Kitty City. Pretty corny. I didn't come up with that. Mark did. Mark Murray. I invite you to come out and see the new shelter anytime. In fact, while you're there, take home a furry friend. I must give a shout out to shelter manager Bob Gatt, Chief Joni Toole, and all of our hardworking staff and volunteers. We have hundreds of volunteers. They offer housing and medical care to more than 4,000 animals annually, and they have the best save rate in Michigan among public open admission shelters whose intakes are greater than 4,000 animals. They also provide full service in 45 communities, in partial service in 8 additional communities. In other words, Oakland County's Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center has a presence in 53 of our 61 communities. So well done, Bob, Joni, and Board of Commissioners. Main Street Oakland County is our unique economic development program focused on downtowns with a historic preservation philosophy and an emphasis on creating a sense of place. We help local governments redevelop their downtowns into vibrant, successful districts that serve as the heart of their communities. Established in 2000 and modeled after the national Main Street program, our Main Street Oakland County is the nation's first countywide Main Street program. Since inception, there has been more than $740 million in total new public-private investment in our downtowns, creating over 1,000 new businesses and about 7,400 new jobs, and adding more than 3.2 million square feet of new floor space. Main Street, Oakland County, like many of our initiatives, continues to be a success because we don't rest on our laurels. There are 32 downtowns in Oakland County eligible to participate in the Main Street program, and so far we've engaged 23. I'm really very proud of this program. All you have to do is drive through some of the cities which have already gone through the Main Street program and see what's happened, the metamorphosis which has occurred from the old city to today. Look at Ferndale, Rochester, Farmington, Holly. Now, Holly's an interesting story. They joined the program, went through the training, and now enjoy a 100% occupancy in their downtown businesses. That's great. Please, check out Oakland County Main Street on the website. There's so much more to read and see in such an outstanding program. If you've been reading the news the past couple of months, you no doubt have seen headlines about our legislature in Lansing trying to fix an enormous problem in the public sector, underfunded government pensions and retiree health care. Not just in Lansing, but in Illinois, California, and all around the country, including the United States itself. The deficit for our state total for retiree benefits is more than $51 billion. That's the deficit, $51 billion. That's B as in billion. It is a bill that is coming due, and there are only two fixes for it: reduce benefits or raise taxes, neither of which have much of a constituency. In Oakland County, it's a different story. Our retiree benefits are paid in full. Our retiree health care is 121% funded, and our pension system is over 102% funded. Oakland County, thank you. Oakland County had the foresight and has been funding these obligations since the 1980s. In the 1990s, my administration closed out the pension fund and offered new employees, new hires, a 401k style retirement, which paved the way for us to close out our traditional and incredibly expensive retiree health care program, the old one. It was then we started offering health savings accounts, referred to HSAs, to supplement retiree medical costs. Plus, we refinanced some of the funds in our traditional plans using our AAA bond rating to lower our payments in these plans. The actual savings by implementing these policies and plans, plus our cost avoidance efforts, all combined and have saved the Oakland County taxpayer a total of $670 million. That, my friend, is why Wall Street refers to us as the best managed county in America. Okay. To close, nobody on my staff has seen or had a chance to critique this closing section. I can see Jerry Foisano over there starting to squirm. But I'm going to close tonight on one of the most divisive topics I face month in and month out. I've been in office 25 years. This topic, look at that. This topic has been on the front burner for 25 years. I speak of none other than the issue of public transit. Way back in 1995, we created a transit plan, and in the plan, we allowed communities in Oakland County to stay in the plan and tax themselves or opt out, depending on their transit needs. Now, the opt-out communities are basically located in the north and west parts of Oakland County communities that would see or utilize very little, if any, public transit service. There are those who opted in and voted to tax themselves to support public transit, and support it they did. Since 1996 through 2017, Oakland County opt-in communities have paid almost $352 million in taxes to support regional transit. Now, that's the most of any RTA. RTA stands for Regional Transit Authority. That's the most of any RTA county, 37 million more than Macomb, and a whopping 107 million more than Wayne. Now, in November of 2016, regional voters, you may recall, rejected a new tax proposal offered by the RTA, the Regional Transit Authority, called Proposal A. Now there's a new plan being floated for the 2018 election, a transportation plan that would be funded by a 1.56 mil property tax increase to be voted on by those communities that are in the tax area. Now, what is the tax area? Recently, I proffered a plan where the tax area for Oakland County would include only those 24 opt-in communities currently supporting the Oakland County Public Transportation Plan. That's the group that supports SMART. I know we got some people from SMART here tonight, provide great service for restricted funds. The Wayne, Detroit, Washtenaw advocates decided that the potential tax area my administration proposed, one that would raise some $1.2 billion over the next 20 years, was inadequate to fund an upscale RTA plan that's being proposed for the 2018 ballot. Inadequate. My proposal, therefore, was rejected. A request was made that I force those opt-out communities into the plan over their will. These communities include Novi, Waterford, Lake Angeles, Rochester, Rochester Hills, Keuka Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and Bloomfield Hills. If those communities were included in the plan, along with the current opt-in communities, Oakland taxpayers over the next 20 years would pay an estimated $1.69 billion, more, of course, than any other county in the plan. Now, if someone doesn't see the rub here, they must be playing Candy Crush on their cell phone. I've been asked to force into the tax plan those 9 communities, I just read them to you, that have long ago opted out of the transit plan. They don't see a benefit. Some political leaders south of 8 Mile want me to force them into the new plan anyway. Washtenaw wants it done. Editors of the regional newspapers are chastising me for not participating and not forcing these communities in against their will. And certain members of the business community, for whom I generally have a great deal of respect, have ostracized me because I will not force those 9 communities into a tax plan. They argue, quote, that would be a mark of leadership to force those 9 communities into the plan and grab that additional revenue of approximately $506 million, whether they like it or not, end quote. They call it leadership. I call it betrayal. I want you to know that as long as I'm the Oakland County Executive, I will respect the wishes of the voters of those 9 Oakland County opt-out communities. I will not force them against their will into a machine from which they can expect little or no return on their investment. They're asking me, betray my constituents, violate my oath of office, and overnight become a regional taxing icon. I can't do it, and I won't do it, and I will never, ever. In rehearsal, this is where I tried to get the Battle Hymn of the Republic piped in, you know. I want you to know, seriously, I will never betray the public that I respect and represent, that I've been working with for almost 40 years, if you count my time as prosecutor. So in closing, ladies and gentlemen, let me say I have attracted a staff of the most outstanding deputies and directors anywhere in government. I take the bows, but they are responsible for producing incredible results. Oakland County, as you know, is synonymous with excellence because of these appointments. Our success as a government is also driven by the strong relationship my administration has that we've maintained with our other elected officials. Now, we're not all from the same party, but we are all of one mind when it comes to rising to the challenge of making Oakland County the best county government in America. So I'd like to take a moment to thank our Board of Commissioners, Chairman Mike Gengel, and Vice Chairman Mike Spees, Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard, Oakland County Water Resource Commissioner Jim Nash, Oakland County Clerk Register of Deeds Lisa Brown, Oakland County Prosecutor Jessica Cooper, the Oakland County Treasurer Andy Meister, the Chief Judges of our various courts, Chief Judge of the Circuit Court Shalina Kumar, Chief Probate Court Judge Kathleen Ryan, and Chief District Court Judge Joe Fabrizio. More than $1 billion of investment in 1 year, augmented reality, robots, a new animal shelter, an ORV park, and so much more. It's really been an incredible year for Oakland County. We're expecting more of the same in 2018. Tonight, I hope that you've seen that this is truly a magnificent time to live, work, and play in Oakland County. We are driven by our destiny, and our appetite to become the best county in the United States. I believe we're well on our way to achieving that goal. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your friendship and support over the years. And now I'm going to invite all of you to join me basically on the second level mezzanine for an afterglow and a chance for us to mingle. And I want to thank you all for coming again tonight. Enjoy the evening.
Stand here, shake your legs a little bit. Get loosened up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.